Greetings and salutations, everyone. Dan the Wolfman, armed security, high-Q ballistics nerd here. Today, we're going to talk about understanding recoil forces in different calibers with different ammo selection in common CCW actual weight pistols. So we're actually going to break down the data so you understand how to pick the recoil forces in different carries to your shooting ability quickly and accurately. Again, quickly and accurately, not target shooting, not having to regrip. These things are utterly important. Depending on your skill level, there's a certain efficiency rule going into this. So, shooting micro nines, this one's a little unshootable for a lot of people. So you get up to maybe a shield plus, a little more shootable. You get to a macro size, more shootable. You get to a subcompact, more shootable, etc. Now, compact, full size, even more shootable, right? Like all the YouTubers with full sizes, comped, light, red dot, heavy thing that they never carry just so they make themselves shoot fast and look cooler than they really are. So it's physics, guys. In a general rule, it's about weight. The heavier the pistol, the lower the energy of the caliber around your shooting, the less recoil. Now, there's other factors that come into play. Action type, we'll get into that a little bit. Grip ergonomics and things like that. Before I really continue, just hear me out 1 second. For anyone that has seen some of my other videos, no harm shall befall me. I'm not suicidal. I shouldn't be randomly accidented when I'm a very aware person. And further confirmation I've gotten that the government has looked at it, deemed my video as credible, and kicked it up, whether that's a good or a bad thing, to DOD. Maybe that gets them to leave me alone and I can only deal with the real other stuff. Anyway, you'll hear more about these things in the future, I'm sure. So, 380, 38 Special, 9, 40, 45s we'll all be covering in the smaller, lighter, almost able to carry stuff, right? So if you're talking full-size duty pistols, the weight definitely battles the amount of recoil force. Okay. As a general rule, according to AI, recoil energy in the auto zone, 1.7 to 3.5. That's like fairly automatic to a brand new shooter, or maybe someone getting elderly, arthritic. I just had a very popular video on concealed carry choices for elderly, disabled, etc. So if you're brand new, smaller female, or have RA or lupus, things like that, 1.7 to 3.5. Controlled, most people, 4 to 5.5. Threshold, like you got to really be good on your input is when you're getting into 40 and 45, 10 mil, that kind of thing. Okay. So we'll start at the lightest, being a Bodyguard 2.0. So a Bodyguard 2.0 with 12 plus 1, according to AI again, 12.6 ounces. Some of the weights are a little light, in my opinion, probably. And also momentum. I'll probably do a separate video. Momentum is a better indicator of the difference between calibers than muzzle energy. Momentum is a much better indicator of how deep a bullet's going to go and stopping power. I mean, not always. It's about penetration and expansion. But as a general rule, had America been momentum, which is a smaller percentage between calibers than muzzle energy. Oh, my super duper whooper bullets, tight condas from Buffalo Board and shit. Like, muzzle energy is not an indicator to a level with my theory until you get to a certain threshold. 9 BPLE at the bottom of that, 357 Magnum, 125 grain semi-jacketed hollow point. Until you get to that level, anything below that level, it really probably doesn't do anything for you. But momentum is a better indicator. It's less of a difference. So momentum of 380, I'm using 85 grain punch because that's the round I have. A 90 grain XTP, a Hydrashok Deep. That's heavier, so you're going to get a little more recoil. But at 12.14 momentum, to have a better indicator of that, when we go to 230 grain HST, momentum is 29.24. So 12 versus 29. 12 versus 29, 380 versus 45. Okay, recoil energy though. From the Bodyguard 2.0, 3.94 recoil energy. Compared to a Glock 43X with 124 grain HST, 4.92. So 3.9 versus 4.9. So 43X versus a Bodyguard 2.0. You can see the Bodyguard 2.0 is a little snappy even though it's a 380. LCP Max, 12 plus 1, 12.14 momentum, 3.71 recoil energy. So a little bit lighter, lower recoil on the Max because it's maybe slightly heavier. I don't have those. This is a Max 9 as a standard, which will have more recoil because it's lighter than a 25.7 loaded weight. Loaded weight's what matters. Those first few shots, you'll have more recoil as you're at the bottom of your magazine. I think this is like 24 ounces loaded versus 25.7 on the G43X. But I picked the Glocks because not my favorite, but that's what people know. Okay. My Blued Sig P230. Recoil energy 231. Now that's direct blowback, so it's actually probably a bit more, and you do feel it in the web of your hand. And I definitely 85 grain punch, very shootable. Once I go to the 94 grain hollow points I have, or I fired a couple 100 grain hollow points that probably aren't very good. The heavier grain weight definitely beats up the web of my hand and my little blued aluminum frame, very lightweight Sig P230. It's like shooting heavy grain weight in 38 special snubs with wooden grips. Definitely, people make a lot of mistakes with that. Beretta 84 BB. Now that's 28 ounces loaded versus 21.5. 177. Again, direct blowback, but it's wide, and so it's also about the grip thickness, because the wider the grip is, obviously you're going to feel less pounds per square inch than an original all-CP tiny little thin thing. So you guys need to keep that in mind. Ruger Security 380. I need to get one. They're blocky, and other manufacturers need to make things similar to this, because that's actually the right choice for anyone new, elderly, disabled, small female, something like that. Browning tilting action, so it absorbs recoil, not direct blowback. Heavier, longer barrels to actually get hollow point expansion. At least you're like 2 layers of clothing. Heavy winter, it's probably not happening with 380. But 380 and a big 380, like my 84 BB or Ruger Security 380, perfectly fine for like half the year. Okay, until you're starting to deal with 3, 4, 5 more layers of clothing. There's only 2 layers, an XTP, a punch, a Hyrdashok Deep. Is going to expand and probably go deep enough for civilian purposes. 23.8 ounces, that's only 2.09 recoil. Remember, AutoZone is 17 to 35, 2.09. So if you're looking for the low recoil, better shootability, fast rapid splits, and you have the ammo capacity to dump a bunch into a big guy attacking you, you know, a fast 5, one of my techniques, because it has 10 and 15 round magazines. So 15 plus 1, you are good to go probably with that longer 3.42 inch barrel, etc. Now, J-frames. Hopefully some of you stayed for this. What will interest you more? Let's say a 14 to 15 ounce aluminum J-frame. Steel's very different. It's all about weight, physics, baby. Loaded 16.3 to 17 ounces. A 140 grain, 8 grain full wad cutter, and I suggest copper plated wad cutter. Look at my ballistics playlist. Goes deeper. Copper plated wad cutter like Precision 1. You have a recoil force of 3.5, so it's the top of the kind of easy button. That has 27% more momentum than the 85 grain punch. So 148 grain wad cutter, 27% more momentum. And that is doing, 15.4 momentum, 27% more. So once you start going up to hollow points, if you can handle the recoil and accuracy at speed, right? 120 plus P punch is a round I recommend. I've ballistics tested it. 33% more momentum than the 380. Momentum matters. Go deep through bones, gets deep to the organs. Recoil, though, jumps up to 4.6. So we go from 3.5 with the full wad cutter cheat code to 4.6. I can shoot my plus P hollow points, the lighter grain weight, okay, even with wood grips on my Torch 856 ultralight, which is a little more shootable than a J-frame. But people know J-frames. But for like newer shooters, less skilled, full wad cutter, cheat code, plated, probably better. Or hard cast if you want to waste your money. Unless you're in bear country or something. 130 plus P Hydrashok Deep. Recoil jumps up slightly to 4.8. That's my carry choice. Mostly because it does go deeper and it's going to be better through cardboard and windshield. So why not? So 4.8 recoil force. I know I'm blowing your autistic mind here, but it's a huge difference. So we're at 4.8 there, and shootable to most people on the edge is a micro like a G43X with, excuse the sound of beeping you hear in the background. So J-frame 4.6, 4.8 with the 120 to 130 grain plus P hollow points is about the same as a 9mm 124 HST out of your G43X, Stoker Attn or 9MC Shield Plus. When you get just a little bit heavier, you're going to get less recoil when you go into your GX2 or another one I'd put in a competition video with those three and Shield Plus. So you get just a little bit heavier of a pistol instead of 25 ounces. My pistol's in that 27 to 28 8-ounce range. Loaded weight, you're going to start getting less recoil. So that's right at about the edge. Now you bump it up to 124 plus P in that, you're getting 5.51. So it's a decent jump, but plus P is maybe worth it to go a little bit deeper in the HSTs, organic gel, not clear ballistics. But the extra slide velocity, you're less likely to have a limp wrist malfunction shooting in a weird position, fighting for your life one-handed. Okay. So if you can handle the recoil, a lot of the experts actually say, no, plus P deal with the extra recoil because of slightly less chance of malfunctions. Okay, in a real situation, not a static range. Let's go back to the 38 though. FBI load, 38G. Ballistics tested it from 2 and 3 inches. It all cracked up to be. Popular video. I suggest you watch it. 4-inch barrel, loaded up, baby. 3-inch, meh. 2-inch, no. Less than 2-inch, 1 7/8. 8-inch, 1.88-inch J-frame or LCR. No, it doesn't expand very good, and there's way too much recoil, 6.5. Buffalo, I carry my Buffalo plus P, man, because I just shoot the guy I want. It's perfect. Man, you can't shoot, motherfucker, so shut up. Buffalo board, 9.4. That is way higher than a lightweight 45 on the list. 9.4 in a J-frame with a plus P 158 grain. None of you, even with rubber grips, can shoot 2 at faster than 1 second splits without regripping. You need to be shooting 53 or faster splits in a DGU, and you don't need to be regripping every shot. Okay, wood grips, forget about it. None of you guys could dump a whole cylinder in that way A-zone. You just can't do it. So stop loading lightweight revolvers with plus P 158. With wood grips, even 158 grain lead round nose, I think I'm better with the faster return with 125 plus P. I just did in a video that you'll see in the future, 125 plus P versus copper plated WADCUTTERs with 158 lead round nose accuracy test of 638 snubs. Anyway, let's go a little higher in weight to more of my carries. Now I have a lightweight carry, 28 to 31.5 ounces. I think I have 2 carries that are 30.7 ounces with red dot. And that is my Micro Dagger C1, all decked out, tons of mods, check it out. DPM recoil reduction system does help. So let me plug DPM because that's in there. With 124 HST, we're at 4.12 from 4.92. So 4.9 to 4.1 by adding less than 5 ounces of weight to the pistol. 124 plus P HST, 5.5 drops down to 4.6. So I'm giving you real carry weight. And guys, if you don't know what your most carried firearms or rotation weigh on a digital scale, like a kitchen scale, this is what's important. And you got to know, like, man, I practice with my full size all the time. And I'm like, and you carry a micro, you little lion. You guys don't shoot them. You don't practice with them. You don't shoot them near as good as you think you are. Just like all you guys that think you can fight. And if you wanted to know how, you should get competitive to shoot jiu-jitsu on BJJ Fanatics. All right, so let's kick it up to a Glock 40. I'm picking like the lightest kind of carry 40 that's somewhat manageable is a Glock 23 Gen 3. 31 ounces with 165 HST, more recoil, more momentum because it's got so much energy, muzzle velocity, 6.68 recoil, 180 grain HST, GunSam likes 165. I got 180. It gets bigger. 6.35. 6.35. So it is a jump up from the 5.5 with 9 millimeters, 4.5 to 5.5 with some 9 millimeters, to a very lightweight 40. Just for comparison's sake, a actually designed for a 40, which the FBI could have done it with a Gen 5, a heavier, thicker slide. It's 3 ounces heavier, 34.3 ounces, and that reduces the recoil in a 180 HST from 6.3 to 5.7. It doesn't sound like a lot, but it is kind of exponential to being able to keep your sights on target and not have to regrip your firearm. You see people doing revolvers all the time, okay? So you should be able to get through a cylinder without having to regrip too much. I still think I was controlling it at 15 years old, a Glock 23, okay? Like, and I bought one at 18, legally. But a Gen 5 wouldn't be an issue. Most people, like the FBI stuff, oh, they could shoot the G22s pretty good, but once you jump down to the G23s, the non-gun people fucking suck. But if you click it up to the heavier slide of a Gen 5 or my MMP 2.0 40, you can handle it. And I have multiple videos on 40. It's not that bad if you are a good shooter, good recoil control. You're at least shooting once a month, which you should be doing anyway if you carry a gun or anything. Okay? I know it's long, but let's get through it. 45 G30S. I picked up one of the lightest carryable Glocks there were because I could find the data on Glock's actual website of loaded weights. So 30.06 ounces, so a little lighter than the G23, 1 ounce lighter. With 185 plus P Golden Saber or something similar at 1,050 feet per second, we're at 6.73 recoil force. So not that bad, 6.73 from your 5.5 with a 124 plus P. 6.7, 5.5. If you're good, you can do it, and it's a little bit more of the push. 185 plus Ps. Speaking of momentum, though, guys, let's go back to that. We start at a 12 momentum for 380. We go to a 15 to a 15 in any of the able to handle rounds in a 38 a lightweight 38 special. 15, 12, 15. At 9 millimeter, we go to 20 to 21 with the best rounds, like punch, HST plus P. Okay, so we go from 12 momentum to 15 momentum in 38 to 21 momentum in 9 millimeter to 26-ish in 40 caliber to 27 to 29 in 45. We kick it up to a 230 grain HST. We have 141% more momentum than the 380. We have 29.24 momentum, 7.47 recoil force. The last few times I've shot lightweight 45s, my split times are actually 23s to 25s. My split times are down to what my 9mm split times. For me, typical 9mm split times, 23 to 26 seconds, depending distance, what I'm doing, etc. Let's talk about briefly brain processing speed and actual defensive gun use. You really don't want to shoot faster than 25s, like unless you're really, really like a pro, like A class. Cops, mag dump, spray and pray, endanger everybody. You got to try to slow them down to 25s to make hits. And really, I think at a 40 caliber at 33 splits, 3 shots a second, instead of the 4 you should be doing in 9mm, where everyone sprays and prays, at least their first mag, and is shooting at 20 splits. And that's why you see all the misses dangerously with 9mm and LE responsive, oh shit, and then brrr, and they don't slow down to the second mag, the reload. So you should keep that in mind. Like, split times are important. You shouldn't be shooting 1 second splits. It's called target shooting, not training. But 25 to 33, like I'm 23 to 33, that's fine. With revolvers, I'm anywhere from 33 to like 54. And if it's more than like a 53, 54 split with revolvers, that means I'm picking ballistic advantage of horrible hip shot placement, a too heavy round for the weight of the revolver. So I do have videos on recoil, how much does it affect in a 38 lightweight and in a mid 357, and you see there's really a big difference. So you go to a full size, like going 357, you shouldn't do like full bore until over 30 ounces, not in the 26 ounce revolvers, and definitely not in your 11 ounce stupid J-frame bullshit. And you shouldn't even have that buffalo bore 158s and that shit either, unless you're needing really deep penetration for more animal defense, four-legged than two-legged. Because I showed you the difference. 9.4 is a lot different than my 3.5 with my full wad cutters. Recoil force and the weight of the pistol matters. So let me wrap up some thoughts. If you're not shooting a 940 45 as good as you should, drop it down to caliber or increase the weight of the pistol. Cheat code. You know, I talked about it, and I don't have one. It's kind of blocky, and I don't love the ergos. But manufacturers, let's make these subcompact size Browning tilting action, not direct blowback, high capacity 380s. Most people would probably be better suited self-defense wise, honestly, with that. I used to bag on 380. I don't like the short 2.8 inch barrels. It's a big ballistics difference when you go 3-4 or longer to get hollowpoint expansion through 2-3 layers of clothing. With those rounds, I recommended Punch Hydrashok Deep XTPs. Okay, big difference. So a lot of you should probably get security 380s. I should probably get one for summertime, or I'll use my Beretta 84 BB and nice dinners occasionally. My SIG P230 because it's so light when my back is really hurting me. And as you age, recoil force and ammo selection matter. You guys are, I'm shooting my 158. When's the last time you did that on a timer on a A-zone target? Like a realistic target? No. They go, whoa! Whoa, you listen to YankeeMarshal saying, load up 357, you're not going to notice the difference. Grip is grip. Physics is physics. I don't care how much adrenaline you think you have. You still can't grip the goddamn revolver in these lightweight revolvers with 357 in them. Okay? And some of you probably shouldn't be doing anything smaller than a 43X Shield Plus. All the other micro 9s, really unshootable for most of you. Your skill level is not there. It is for me. It's not for you. Okay, get a macro, a 3.7 inch barrel. A macro is going to be more shootable, or an old school subcompact. That's going to be a lot more shootable because it's accuracy at speed. Accuracy at speed. Critical, anatomical, heart, spine, CNS shots. That's what matters. So just please, guys, stop following people that are telling you to load 158 plus P in a fucking 11-ounce J-frame. Or worse, a 357. And Yankee, I kind of like some of your weirdness. But, like, you're not going to notice. That if I can't grip it strong, you think your little squirrely old ass is going to be able to? No, okay? Like, no. Ammo selection matters, and weight of carry pistols matter. And I get it. I don't like carrying heavier than 31 ounces on my hip when I'm carrying full size at work and shit, right? So there's the data. If any of you want it, I know it's chicken scratch, it's car scratch, but there's a lot of data there to actually compare. And like, again, AI says most of you shouldn't be going over that 9mm 5.5, which is right where we are with some of my stuff. And I drop it down by just going to a 28 to 31 ounce pistol from 5.5 to 4.6 with my 124 plus P HSTs. Get an HST or punch for carry. That's the easy answer. HST or punch. HST or punch for civilian defensive gun use. Those are your best answers. 9 BPLE. Recoil force. There's muzzle energy is higher, but recoil force is similar to 124 plus P HST. So, you know, if you're in the South, I guess, to keep in mind. 357 full bore magnums. I can do it if it's over 30 ounces, like my 66 Combat, my Taurus 692, etc. If I really wanted to carry something that heavy, which often I don't. Okay, so 24 to 28 ounce carry pistols, or a nice easy carry, is going to be different depending on the caliber, to 28 to 31 ounces 9mm, and most of the 40s aren't 31 ounce Glock 23s. Most of the carryable 40s are 35 ounces loaded, 12 or 13 plus 1. So just keep that in mind, guys. Shootability, carryability. You don't want to be like Batman all the time either. So just think about it. Recoil force, it matters. Ammo selection, it matters. And if guys are telling you, Jesus, carry 357 mag in these less than 20 ounce revolvers, or even the super duper Underwood Buffalo Bore, super Anaconda, Ticonda, plus P plus, fucker, show me on video. Drop a cylinder 7 yards in the A zone. Show me with faster than 55 splits. Show me. Otherwise, it doesn't matter. So ammo selection matters. It's not a lot of momentum in that 380, but in summertime, it's probably good enough. For any one of you older people out there, look at my video on elderly disabled carry guns. And gun manufacturers, more security 380 should be made, and then kick it up to probably a macro or a subcompact, or even a compact for carry 9mm in the winter. And if it's sub 33, I still like 40. I just wish they were lighter. I like 45. I just wish there was more other than that Glock G30S that were light enough with 10+1 or more capacity. So everything's a balancing act. Please like, share, subscribe, get down there in the comments. I'm sure most of you clicked off. I'm autistic, what can I say? And yeah, look at all my playlists. Subscribe. Most of you aren't subscribed. You're not looking at the playlist. Learn how to fight. You don't know how to fight, you don't know how to shoot. If you're not shooting once a month, you don't know how to shoot. Get competitive shoot jiu-jitsu on BJJ Fanatics. And I keep concealed carry and reality and multiple opponents in mind. I'm on a 4-hour sleep. Give me a like, comment down below. Kaboom.